Why, hello there, soulmates. My name's Soulkeeper. Today we're going to be, or I guess tonight, we're going to be doing something a little bit different from what we've been doing recently. I haven't done anything like this in a long time, but I thought that we'd rank McFarlane's best Batman action figures to date. So far, we're streaming right now in February of 2025. And McFarlane, to their credit, they've made a lot of Batman action figures, guys. They're not slacking on that. They've never slacked on that since day one. I've noticed that McFarlane Toys is a little bit unpopular among collectors these days. They used to be a little bit more popular. Well, they've never been, like, super popular, but, like, all the people who love collecting 6 inches hate them. But a lot of people still happen to enjoy McFarlane Toys, and I still enjoy McFarlane Toys, too. But which Batman toys have been the best? They made an awful lot of them. Which ones should we deem the best of the bunch? Because whether you love or hate McFarlane Toys' output, you have to admit that they've put out some stuff that's pretty decent. I've seen a lot of things where people have praised them. Hello, Jared. How's it going? Let's go ahead and talk about, let's look at what I think the number 5 best McFarlane Toys Batman action figure is. Well, we're gonna rank these Batman action figures. What we're gonna be looking at, guys, in terms of, like, before we really get into it, what we're gonna be looking at in terms of how we're gonna rank them is whatever version of the character that they're representing. How does that likeness look? We're going to look at things like the detail of the sculpt. We're going to look at the quality of the paint job. We're going to look at the overall posability as well, the accessories that come with it, and just what kind of overall package are we looking at? How good does this represent a given Batman? How's it going, Jared? Hope that you're doing all right tonight. I thought it would be fun to come on here and do this and just see how she goes. It's I think the number one challenge of just pulling this off, guys, is just that there's so many Batman action figures. I remember we ranked Batman action figures about little over a year ago, and yeah, like a year and a half ago, and there were so many Batman action figures that we kind of just had to tap out because we didn't realize the sheer breadth of what we were trying to talk about. There were too many Batman action figures to cover them all, too many Batman action figures to rank. So just talking about the ones that we think are the best, I think is a lot more manageable. Because at this point, I've really lost count of how many Batmans there are. Hello there, Fortnite is the best. All as well as my end. Yeah, I'm pretty okay, Jared. Jared says he just got Nightfall black and gray. Nightfall's a pretty good action figure. You really can't go wrong with Nightfall. And Hush. I don't have Hush. Either version of it. Thank you for subscribing. Fortnite is the best. I appreciate that. I think, the number one problem with, well, one of the problems with ranking Batman action figures, besides the sheer number of them, is the quality. Sometimes it's pretty good. Sometimes some of the best action figures they put out are Batman action figures. Other times, Batman can be some of the worst action figures they put out. But we're going to take a look at the first one right now, guys. So, I did some looking, I did some thinking, and I figure that the number 5... at least my first favorite action figure for Batman action figure from McFarlane Toys is their Batflick action figure. Hello there, Jonathan. You said hi. Welcome. Hillel said hi, and Nico said hi too. Hello, everybody. It's good having you here with us. We're talking about Batman action figures, guys. Which one is the best ones? Which ones are the best ones? Guys, I gotta say that when I first saw Ben Affleck's Batman, I was impressed. I didn't think that the likeness was going to be all that good, but looking pretty close at him, yeah, it's a pretty solid representation of Ben Affleck's Batman. It ticks all the right boxes. It's even got a fabric cape. It's got all the details that made Batman's character such a joy in Batman v Superman. I wasn't nuts about Batman v Superman. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, but undeniably, this action figure, it was really, really good. I don't know what got into McFarlane Toys when they were making Batman v Superman stuff, but they decided to crank a little bit of it out, and holy moly. He comes with a couple of batarangs, he comes with a set of extra hands, he comes with a grappling gun. Yeah, this is a well-detailed sculpt. Paint looks really good. Looks like he's got like a little bit of a dirty thing going on here. Looks like he's got some kind of wash going on too. Really has that like old Marvel Legends vibe about it. You know what I mean, guys? The Batfleck is awesome. You want to grab another one? I don't blame you. I saw this and I thought to myself, God, that might be the best movie action figure they put out. The first time I saw this. Just everything about it hits all the right boxes. I can't hate it. Even though I'm not a big fan of Batman v Superman. This is a good representation, and it's way better than the Flash version of Ben Affleck's Batman, because that action figure was balls. I remember when that one came out, I said, this doesn't look anything like Batman. Who's this guy supposed to be? That ain't no Batman. You love me some Batman? Everybody loves Batman. That's why McFarlane makes so much Batman, because we all need our Batman. I don't mind there being so much Batman, I just want a little Joker to go with my Batman. That's my one request. And if you notice, McFarlane is one of the few companies that got the wrinkles in the suit. See, that's another thing that I love about it. They make the suits look lived in. They don't skimp on the sculpt. People hate on McFarlane all the time because 7 inches, I guess. Most of the time they say, it's got no articulation, it's 7 inches, it doesn't match my 6-inch scale. God damn, when did action figure collectors become such babies? This figure slaps. I don't care what scale it is. Maybe I'll rant about that soon. Maybe I'll tell everyone that people need to stop being such babies about scale. Oh, I bet people will love that. Pretty about as much as they love all my other rants. Dude, I'm really good at getting collectors riled up, and I don't even like try to get them riled up. They just get their jimmies rustled really easily about stupid shit. You love the Kiva rants? Oh, just watch, Jonathan. I can rant like I'll show you a rant. I'll rant like nobody's business. Oh, I'll make people cry. Well, this is number 5 on my list, guys, and it might be as a surprise to everyone, but God, they did great work on Ben Affleck's Batman here. Oh, God, what a rendition, guys. Out of curiosity, how many of you guys out there are fans of Batman v Superman? I don't know, did anyone like that movie? I really wanted to like it. I should make a video about future waves you'd like to see. For you, you'd love a Batman under the Red Hood wave. Well, you know, I made a video about Marvel Legends I'd like to see. I guess it wouldn't be that much of a stretch to talk about DC Multiverse action figures I'd like to see. Why not, right? Yeah, I can think of a few things I'd really like to see. And maybe some things that they should redo too, because every so often McFarlane puts out an action figure where I look at it and go, I don't know about that one, guys. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like the kind of action figures that just are balls, where they very obviously didn't try that hard, and then you look at that and say, come on guys, you can do better than that. I've seen what you can do. You know you can make a better action figure than that. That happens to me sometimes when I look at Hasbro's Marvel Legends. You did really like Batman v Superman, and it's a film that grew on you exponentially the more you watched it. You liked parts of it. I'm in that boat, I think. I liked parts of it, but like there's a lot of it that I didn't like. I think the thing that rubbed me the most is that like the fight between Batman and Superman felt so forced. It felt way, way, way too forced to me. That's the one thing I think. Because I looked at the whole thing and I thought to myself, you know, Superman, he'd never do it. Even if like Lex Luthor had him dead to rights or something, he wouldn't just go and fight Batman. That's silly. They were just trying too hard to get the fight in there because they've been trying to work with the concept for years. I mean, I remember Batman v Superman being a concept way back in like the early 2000s before it was even off the ground conceptually. So I think at that point they felt way too committed to not do the fight. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. They tried so hard to shoehorn it in there instead of it being like a natural progression like it was in Frank Miller's The Dark Knight. Like, you could understand why that's happening, because Superman was a tool of the government, and he was like their Boy Scout that they sent to take care of the Batman problem. But here, like, Superman wasn't under anyone's control necessarily. He just, like, what, Superman can't figure out how to rescue Lois Lane from Lex Luthor? That's like a day's work. That's a slow Tuesday for Superman, brother. Oh, it is, though. Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Returns is just a masterpiece. Frank Miller. I saw some pictures of Frank Miller recently. He's looking a little rough around the edges, unfortunately. It's really too bad. I wish he was looking better than he is. Alright, guys. So, next action figure I do believe we're going to look at is Christian Bale's Batman. Now, I've saw some mixed reviews about this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that, I don't know, guys, this is a pretty stellar representation of Christian Bale's Batman from The Dark Knight. I think that they nailed the likeness on this one. I think the accessories were really, well, I mean, he comes with 3 batarangs and a grappling gun. The accessories are not anything to necessarily write home about, but they're appropriate for the character. But the way that they did this one, it was so good. A $25 action figure. Yeah, I thought he was good. Comes with a plastic cape. They were still doing plastic capes at the time. But people were talking smack about it. They were saying it falls apart and stuff. I think that's just something that happens sometimes with McFarlane's toys, frankly. Like, it doesn't happen often, but it's happened to me. Well, I've never really had a toy fall apart necessarily. I did have a Swamp Thing that's arm did fall out, right? And to be fair, McFarlane gave me like a free toy for it. So, yeah, they gave me a free toy to compensate me for my trouble. And then the only other issue I had with a toy falling apart was like a Build-A-Figure, but their Build-A-Figures suck anyway. That's another conversation. But yeah, Jared says that this does what you need it to, and I think that's about true. This is a $25 Christian Bale Batman that nails the likeness. This is literally just the Dark Knight Batman stepped off the silver screen. I don't know how you could make it any more perfect at this price point, other than like cloth cape, and they hadn't started doing that yet. I'm going to level with you guys, too. The cloth capes are, like, some of the best things that they've ever done in McFarlane toys. I can't believe they started doing it, but it's immediately bumped up the quality of the releases. Am I, like, the only guy out there that doesn't constantly smack-talk McFarlane toys? I do sometimes, but am I the only guy out there that says nice things about them? Sometimes I feel like I am. Every time I make any kind of post here on YouTube, it's always something about their toys are bad, McFarlane toys are ass. It's like they're parodying their favorite crappy YouTuber who gets the toys early. Without ever buying McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse for themselves, trying it out, seeing what it's like. I bought enough of these things that I know what they're like at this point. Most of the time, they're pretty well put together. Literally the worst thing about the line, I think, is the Build-A-Figures. Come to think of it, maybe I should try another one of their Build-A-Figure lines soon to see how bad it is. I wonder if those have improved at all. Oh, by the way, I dicked around with my Super Chat feature here on YouTube, and I finally set my Super Chats back up to what they used to be, so like, the why did you say that name on the $5 Super Chat is back, and so is like Todd not signing stuff, and all my old Super Chats are back the way they used to be. It's just I'm streaming in vertical format now. instead of horizontal, because YouTube is pushing out vertical live streaming more so than horizontals at this point. I've noticed that my horizontal streams get like half the views they used to, whereas vertical lives seem like they just get a lot more juice from YouTube. Anyway, that's enough tech talk. You keep trying to tell people that McFarlane has so much potential, but like anything, some of these people just go off what someone else says. I think that's the problem. A lot of these toy collectors are picking up their opinions from some random jack-off that they're listening to on some other channel, where this guy says they're bad because not 6 inches or something like that, or some other frivolous reason. I don't know, like maybe the thigh articulation isn't good enough for them. And sometimes that's true, sometimes the thigh articulation is a little balls, but literally all the other articulation they have is really solid. I wish I knew why McFarlane's didn't do more with their thigh articulation, but it is what it is at this point. I wish they had something more like, I don't know, Mafx's articulation, where they have like the hip joint, or I think NECA does that too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they have a similar type of articulation. But point being, he's not doing anything at McFarlane. They're not doing anything bizarre that other companies don't already do. It's just that for some reason they're the preferred scapegoat among collectors mostly because 7 inches, I think. Anyway, Christian Bale's Batman is number 4, guys, and I've loved this rendition of the character since day one. This is a really solid release from McFarlane Toys, and one of the best Batmans to date. Guys, I am having myself this Venetian blend tonight. I decided to go ahead and brew a nice cup of coffee before I came on here instead of my regular Dunkin'. This goes down a lot easier than the Dunkin' does. Sometimes I feel like I'm choking the Dunkin' down. Best part is I still have a whole crate of Dunkin' left. Oh, I can't wait to run out of Dunkin', guys. You drink Dunkin' long enough, you realize, I don't know about this anymore. And that's another fair assessment. See, the ab crunch, the worst things about McFarlane's articulation is the inconsistent ab crunch. They're a little bit better on their ab crunch than they are on the thigh swivel. The thigh swivel is one of those things that sometimes happen, most of the time doesn't. Like, I wish they would do something to make that more consistent so that they had a little bit more movement. But most of the time they don't seem terribly concerned about it. McFarlane's a company that's more about the sculpt, and I guess they consider articulation to be a secondary concern. Whereas with Marvel Legends, it's the other way around. I think people just need to go into companies knowing what to expect from a given company. You don't go to, like... You just don't go into Marvel Legends expecting, like, all the sculpting in the world. That's setting yourself up for disappointment. Same with McFarlane Toys. You go into McFarlane Toys expecting top-notch articulation, you're going to be setting yourself up for disappointment every time. It's just how it is. They're a sculpt company first and an articulation company second. And the exact opposite is true for Hasbro's Marvel Legends. But yeah, their ab crunch leaves a little bit to be desired, along with their thigh swivel. Those are the two worst points for me, and if they would work on that, I think that it would make a lot of the Marvel Legends collectors a lot happier. But let's be honest, Marvel Legends collectors will probably never be happy, because, I say that even though I collect Marvel Legends myself. I don't know. I don't have a bone in the fight. I don't have any skin in the game in that regard. But like, the people who are just so dead set on 6 inches will never be happy, because these are 7 inches and they just can't handle it. I think I told a guy, some guy complained about a while back about the scale on my channel. I told him, dude, it's been like 4 years. Go talk to a therapist if you can't get over it at this point. Alright, guys. Check this out. The third best action figure from McFarlane, the third best Batman action figure, in my opinion, from McFarlane Toys, is Michael Keaton's Batman. Now, a lot of people happen to not like this one because they think that the likeness doesn't look like Michael Keaton. I think the way they feel that way, the reason they feel that way is because he actually has neck articulation. And, well, if you know Batman by Michael Keaton, there's not a whole lot of neck joint there to be seen because the cowl doesn't really, well, as I remember it being told, the cowl did move, but it looked bad when it moved, so he just didn't move his neck at all when he was in there. So it wouldn't get all, like, bent and bunched up and look all gnarly. But, anyway, I digress. This is... I think that Michael Keaton's Batman is a solid version of the character. This is the newest version. But this is not like... Hugo's got this on pre-order. I don't blame you. Thought about pre-ordering it myself, to be honest, because... I just love Michael Keaton's Batman. I'm a sucker for Michael Keaton's Batman, guys. One thing people say that is so stupid is when they try and say that Mafex or figure art is better. I agree. And Jared, people say that to me all the time, and half the time I say, wow, you don't say! The $80 action figure is better than the $25 one. Wow, never saw that coming. Yeah, of course it's better. It's like 3 times the price, man. It's just basic logic. Like, these are things that these people should have worked out in Philosophy 101. In a high school philosophy class, they would maybe connect the dots that maybe that's not the fairest comparison. Yeah, this product that's 3 times the cost probably is a little bit better. No shit, Sherlock. And you're right to laugh about it, Jared, because it is stupid. Who does that? Idiots, that's who. Morons. People who can't think. When you're gonna make a comparison, you have to compare to like things, right? You can't just pick any old damn product you want and compare it to that, because it's going to be a losing comparison. You have to find things at comparable quality price points to compare, like ballpark, roughly the cost of a Marvel Legend versus a DC Multiverse. You compare DC Multiverse to Marvel Legends. Okay, now we have a fair comparison because we're comparing products that are at similar price points, right? Or any other brand that's at that price point. You compare those. You don't go and compare a boutique toy that's imported. Are you out of your mind? It's funny, Jonathan, but it happens. It happens frequently. You'll always get some jackoff that likes to make a comment like, "Oh, Mafex is better." Yeah, I bet it is. Literally, it's a $120 toy versus the $25 toy. Yeah, it's better. It is. Batman here, 1989 Batman comes with 2 sets of extra hands. One hand that's just all by its lonesome. Comes with a grappling gun, guys. Comes with some throwing stars. Comes with a bat communicator, actually. You guys remember when he stops the Batmobile? That's what this is. And he also comes with a Batarang. And also, well, look at the detail there. That just smacks. Look, they even got the little insignia right, dude. Yeah. This is a solid release. I'm gonna level with you guys. I don't think that the likeness looks bad. People were like shitting all over his likeness here, but I don't think it looks bad. I think the reason that people are up in arms about it is just because he has a little bit more of a neck than the guys than he did in the movie. Because look. Obviously, he doesn't have much of a neck. It's like a straight drop. But I'm willing to sacrifice that for a little bit of articulation. I think it's fine. And maybe that's controversial among collectors and YouTubers, but I'm just going to say I think he looks great. I think it's solid. I think this is like, if you're going to get a 1989 Batman, guys, this is the one. Because I remember reviewing the original one that came out with the Batmobile Batman 2-pack from Amazon. What an action figure that was. That was good all by itself. This one is even better. I would rather have this one than the Batmobile one. Legit. This is the one. This has got the sauce. It's got the juice, baby. Yeah, Jonathan, that's what I'm saying. Because, like, you look at the facial features, I mean, I see a little bit of Michael Keaton in there. Maybe I'm crazy, but I see it. Like, looking at that, looking at this, yeah, I see a little Michael Keaton. It's the neck that's throwing it off for people. But they did that so that he'd be able to pose a little better, and I'm fine with it. I guess people just want to have a stationary head and just want to, like, turn his body and stuff. I don't know. I think at some point it's okay to just use your imagination. Jared says, yeah, I know, Hugo. The insignia? Ah, they got it, baby. Face I don't think is terrible, but the neck is throwing you off, too. It ain't missing... Yeah. The neck is just a little bit different from the source material. And sometimes I think it's okay to just deviate from the source material and I don't know. I think it's okay to just deviate a little bit if it means that the action figure is a little bit more fun to play with. At the end of the day, I think what matters is just the playability. Like, I just know that if this Batman couldn't turn his head at all, people would still be bitching about it. It's like one of those damned if they do, damned if they don't situations. If they don't give him a neck that he can move, people are going to bitch about it. If they give him a neck that he can move, people are still going to bitch about it. Cryptic Riddler is so happy you're able to get the Batman Begins figure on pre-order. That Batman Begins was pretty tight. I really liked the costume on him, Cryptic Riddler. And I thought this one and that one were both pretty good. Some people were ragging on the Batman Begins ones too, but you know what? There's all kinds of people out there that are just talking smack about McFarlane toys. I think McFarlane Toys deserves a break. They're putting out product constantly. That's more than I can say for Marvel Legends. McFarlane Toys is constantly putting stuff out. And it might not always be the best stuff, but at least they're putting stuff out there. One of my favorite things, guys, about McFarlane Toys is that they just periodically announce things and release things. I agree with that, Cryptic Riddler. The McFarlane hate is getting really old. Yeah, I know. Like, I'll criticize them sometimes, but when they deserve praise, yeah, I let them have the praise. I'm getting so tired of people complaining about 7 inches. It's been 5 years. Get over it, man. The 7 inches isn't going away. DC Comics and Warner Brothers are happy with McFarlane Toys. Did anyone see the new Nightmaster? Wait, the new Nightmaster. What is it? Wait, wait, what? There was a new Nightmaster? Oh, I don't think I saw that, no. Anyway, I just think that more people need to think for themselves and stop listening to their favorite YouTubers to form their opinions. Anyway, that's my rant about that. Michael Keaton's Batman slaps, guys. This is a great Batman, number 3 on my little list here. Alright, let's take a look at what I think number 2 is. Oh god, you guys are gonna love this one. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it out there, guys, that Adam West Batman is one of the best Batman action figures I've ever seen. Like, the likeness, the rendition they did of this one, the articulation, it's too good. This action figure is OP. Adam West Batman. I couldn't believe they did it, but they did it, and it just turned out to be like one of those toy of the year type situations. They got it. They included the Batusi fingers, they included the extra hands to hold his stuff, they included a battering, a bat communicator. Come on, man. They even gave him a cloth cape. Look at him. Look at that. Look at that. That's Batman. That's Adam West. Come on. They have the issues like the abs being able to bend all the way back but not forward and a couple other things, but overall they're great DC action figures for the price most of the time. Yeah, I'm in the same boat there with that one. Like, most of the time, their sculpts are great. Their articulation has a couple of problem areas that I wish they'd work on. Sometimes the action figures have those issues ironed out, but I wish it was more consistent. If they just iron out the thigh issue and the ab crunch issue, I think that I think they'd have pretty much 5-star action figures on a pretty consistent basis. Jared wants to remind everyone that Hasbro has the Marvel license for damn near 2 decades, and McFarlane has had DC for 5, and constantly trying to get better and innovate. I would agree with that also. Like, guys, you remember what McFarlane Toys was doing 5 years ago back in 2020 when they first got the license? Like, this is how much they have progressed with the toys in 5 years. I want you to think about that for a second. Like, this is what they've been able to do in 5 years. The level that they're at right now is way, way different from the level that they were at then. The toys they're putting out now are consistently decent. Yeah, it was pretty rough. I remember the first Batman they put out, the first Superman. They weren't awful, but they weren't great either. It was really different. They were trying, but let's be honest, like, they've gotten so much better. When they first came out, they had like these standard ball-jointed ankles and wrists. Now look, they got wrists that match the sculpt of the gauntlets and the boots that they have. Like, look at that. They don't have just regular old ball joints at the ankles and the wrists anymore. They don't do that anymore. The sculpts have always been like a little bit more complex. The single joints, yeah, I remember Superman had single jointed elbows. That wasn't my favorite thing. The Superman that they came out with initially was pretty underwhelming. They consistently have these butterfly joints. Oh god, man. This Adam West Batman is outstanding. I can't believe, like, every single detail about this just screams Adam West character from the show to me. Oh, what a good action figure, guys. It doesn't get much better than this, honestly. Like, you still don't have the West, it is nice. Yeah. I really can't think of too many action figures that do it better than this one. It honestly feels like, if you talk about this action figure, any other action figure is more of a lateral move than an upward momentum. Because this one is just so top-notch for McFarlane Toys. What are my thoughts on the Flash and Titano 2-pack? You really want it because the Flash looks nice, but you don't want the Titano. I don't know about Titano. Or Titano, or Titan. I don't even know how to say his name, honestly. It looked okay. I don't know if it's one of those ones that I would be beaten down the door to have, but if you're a fan of the character, I would say go ahead and do it. Or if you're Flash Titano. I forget what I saw when I looked at it. Okay, it doesn't look like Titano's really going to have much in the way of articulation. It kind of looks pretty bare bones to me. Now that I look at it a little harder. It doesn't even look like it's... God, it doesn't even look like it's got Gorilla Grodd articulation. It looks really, really simple. So, let me, very briefly here, let's take a look at this, guys. Alright, so here's Titano and the Flash. The Flash is like an earlier version of the Flash that, if you guys have the Rebirth Flash action figure, this is the one it's very similar to this one here. This action figure I actually really like, this Rebirth Flash action figure. I thought that is one of the best toys it's one of the best earlier toys, I think, that McFarlane Toys did. But this is another repaint of that same action figure. Yeah, this is pretty much a statue, so I don't know about this one. Doesn't look like the hips even move, the waist moves, the shoulders move, I don't know. This is not what I would call McFarlane's best work, unfortunately, so I don't know that I can wholeheartedly recommend it. Yeah. This is one of those moments where I'm going to criticize them a little bit and say, they could have done better for this character. Yeah, I would get it just for the Flash, if I get it at all, because this is kind of, whatever. I wish so too, Jared. I want to get into it, but it's hard to. The sculpt is good, yeah, sculpt's fine. But, like, people want that articulation. If it was more like Gorilla Grodd, I could get into it, because Gorilla Grodd from the Page Punchers line was pretty tight. That was a pretty decent action figure, I thought. Like, a really good action figure for, you know, having a monkey sculpt. That one only had single-jointed knees, single-jointed elbows, but it was still pretty good. And just for reference, let's pull it up. DC Multiverse Gorilla Grodd. Okay, we're going to be looking at the Page Punchers one very briefly here. We're not going to be looking at the Injustice one. The Injustice one I have too, but it's a lot smaller than this one that we're about to look at is. Okay, check it out, guys. Here is Gorilla Grodd from the Page Punchers line. This is not a bad Gorilla Grodd. Overall, this is a pretty decent representation of Gorilla Grodd in his armor from the comics and stuff. Look at this. He's got like the single-jointed elbow joint with a swivel right there, and then yeah, there it is again. You can see the swivel. It's very, very subtle right there, but there's the cut, and then you can also see very, very subtle. There's a cut for his knee joint. The ankles don't have a lot of movement or anything, so he's got a pretty strong base, and he also doesn't really have any ab articulation or anything. But I thought that this was a tight action figure and a good rendition of Gorilla Grodd. It's one of my favorite Page Punchers action figures from the earlier waves. $70 is pushing it for that. Yeah. Batman and Godzilla, $70. Ah, forget that noise. Who needs it? That's too much. $70. Alright, guys, here's my number one Batman from McFarlane Toys. Guys, this is a simple release, but I can't deny that this might have been the best Batman action figure I've ever handled. I don't know that I felt as much joy handling a Batman action figure as I have Nightfall Batman. This one had the best articulation I think any DC Multiverse action figure has ever had, in my opinion. The hips had a lot of play. The ab crunch worked beautifully. If every DC Multiverse action figure had this kind of playability, I think people would have maybe some nicer things to say. The butterflies are very nice too. They're hidden. They're not overwhelming. They don't like stick out or anything like that. Just everything comes together. This is like the Batman to have, I think. And the only thing that really holds it back, I would say, is the plastic cape. But again, they weren't really doing the cloth capes at the time. But if they redid this one, or just re-released him with a cloth cape, hey, I wouldn't be mad about it. Re-release him in blue. You saw that in GameStop once, but didn't have your wallet on you, and you've regretted it ever since. Well, if you ever have a chance to pick up a black Nightfall Batman, a black and gray one, I think that you would be very happy with it. I think they keep using this one quite often, and they keep reusing the sculpt, so it probably wouldn't be... It's probably not outside the realm of possibility that they'd re-release him at some point. It's a very popular Batman action figure, and they've made probably 3 versions of him. They made this one. They made the Nightfall cel-shaded version of Batman that was like a Comic-Con exclusive, I want to say. It's a while ago, it's hard for me to remember, but it was an exclusive. And I don't know why they did that, because literally everybody wanted it. It would have made so much money. This one already did make a bunch of money. I had a hard time getting this action figure, guys. Because I remember it came out initially, and then I had it pre-ordered, and I was waiting forever for my pre-order to get my Nightfall Batman. I hope they do too. I think that if they re-release it with a wired cape, that it's just a license to print money at this point. I don't know. They want to do something with the head, something special, maybe. But I don't think they really need to do anything other than just put a new cape on him. Call it a day. This Batman, guys. I love this Batman. I still have this one. I have him just seated in the other room doing his thing. One of my favorite action figures from DC Multiverse by McFarlane. Best part is, he only comes with an extra pair of hands, and he only comes with a Batarang. That's all he comes with. And it's all he needed. Also, he was only $20. This was at a time when they were like toying around with upping the price to $23, and they were coming out with other toys that were like $25, sometimes even $30, I think. I think the collector edition stuff came out not too long or at the same time as this. It's hard for me to remember. But this one was only $19.99, so it was dirt cheap too. You know, for action figures. Both pretty pricey on the aftermarket. How much is Nightfall Batman now, out of curiosity? I bet you he's worth a small fortune. Like, a lot of these action figures are just brutal on prices on the aftermarket. I remember Bane. That one cost a lot of money. Bane came out, he was very popular, and then nobody could get him after a while. I got lucky and picked up Bane from Amazon for like $30, I think. $30. I got a deal on Bane, baby. I don't even know how. And then right after I got my Bane from Amazon, then they were just out of stock. It was all over. Stick a fork in them, guys. Everybody loved Bane. He wasn't perfectly accurate to what you got, to what the Nightfall Bane looked like, but he was still a pretty good action figure. And then later on, they released a 2-pack with this Batman. I believe they released a 2-pack with this Batman and the Nightfall Bane. I'm actually not sure how much that cost, but hey, let's take a look at it real quick. You see Multiverse Batman and Bane. Yeah, there it is right there. This is like... Well, this one is battle damaged, but you'll still get the idea of what we're talking about here. Check this out, guys. Okay. Alright. Here's the 2-pack version. This has the Nightfall Batman with a cloth cape. It's a little bit battle damaged. But also it's got a correct look for Bane. He's a little bit cell shaded, but also the tubing is correct on this one, so this is a more accurate representation of what Bane looks like from Nightfall. So, this one, as I believe, well, it cost a pretty penny over on like Amazon and stuff, so don't get too excited. You'll wind up paying like one hundo for this thing if you want to pick them up, probably. But if you're absolutely hurting for like a Nightfall Batman and a Bane, that could be the best option. Alright, let's see. They're both pretty pricey. Your favorite McFarlane Batman action figure is the Flashpoint Flash. Yeah, Flashpoint Flash is pretty tight. He's one of the most expensive McFarlane figures on the aftermarket. Is that the one, oh, is that the Build-A-Figure one? God, that's the one? That one is really expensive? Really? I'm kind of surprised by that. How? Really? The one that had the swappable head is really expensive now. Oh. Well, you know, I never got that one. I guess I regret that one a little bit now. Nah, what? It's not like I'm gonna sell them anyway. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, Jared, people say that McFarlane makes too much Batman, and then guess what? Like, all these action figures wind up selling for like $100. I don't know, maybe it doesn't seem like he's making all that much Batman at that point. Alright, so one of the great things about this 2-pack too, guys, is that the Bane comes with a set of extra hands, which he did not come with on the original Mega figure, so that's a pretty nice addition. Also, this Batman comes with a couple of sets of extra hands. So, oh, also the details here are painted on him. God, that head sculpt is a little... I don't know if I like that head sculpt as well as like the previous Batman that we just looked at. But I do like the way that there's stuff in the cape underneath the cowl there. That looks cool. Yeah, that head sculpt is kind of balls, so. Maybe not McFarlane's best work. I think this one's a little bit better. I'm glad we looked at that. Alright, number 1 Batman action figure of all time at McFarlane Toys. Nightfall Batman. Honestly, I could see like a tie between Adam West Batman and Nightfall Batman. Both of those are pretty good. You really can't go wrong with either one, guys. Jared says that, I know people love to say McFarlane makes too many Batman, but I genuinely feel like you should have a classic Batman on shelves at all times. Similar to having Optimus Prime on shelves. Yeah, that's, yeah, I would say I agree with that, because let's look at the cold, hard facts here. Not everyone, you know, some people are just looking to get into collecting, and when they're looking to get into collecting, they want to have a representation of their favorite character on the shelves. And who's the most popular characters? Batman, Spider-Man. And if you don't have one of those on the shelves at all time for like the kids to pick up and get themselves into the hobby and all that, you're going to lose them pretty quickly, because what do they want to see? They want to see Batman. What do they want to see? They want to see Spider-Man. Just real basic characters that you should have on the shelves. A basic Batman, a basic Superman, a basic Spider-Man. I see a lot of these collectors get all up in arms because they say that, oh, another character I don't really need. We already got one recently. Meanwhile, the wave has like 3 other characters that are brand spanking new for them to collect. And I remember saying this to some guy who was whining about Secret Wars a while back from Marvel Legends. Well, if you've already got the Spider-Man and the Captain America, just collect the other ones. Like, go get those instead. Other people are just coming into this, and maybe they want Wolverine, and maybe they want Spider-Man. What's your problem, man? And the guy's just, you know what? The guy was just completely unresponsive, just saying, I don't collect like you, all that. People who can't see how other people are feeling, or who can't emphasize with people who maybe don't have the same collection they do. People who only think about themselves. There's a real selfishness about this hobby sometimes that bothers me, guys. Alright, Jared says, I literally just got the black and gray for 31 bucks. It was the last from the eBay seller you got it from. Hey, that's pretty cool. 31 bucks? That's not bad. That's pretty good for an action figure that's, you know, maybe not the easiest to get at this point. So congratulations, Jared. I hope that you enjoy him. I think you will. I think you will. Because Nightfall Batman, if you've never handled Nightfall Batman, he's a treat. Actually, I think you have. Didn't you say that you had Nightfall Batman already? You just had the black and gray one? Or you just got the black and gray one? Yeah. Sorry, my mind's all over the place. It's getting a little late. Well, soulmates, I guess I have to ask at this point. If you were to pick, and this goes out to all the people who are watching after the fact too, who are watching right now, who weren't here during this live stream. If you could pick your 5 favorite McFarlane Toys Batman action figures, what are the top 5 you think? Because I'm sure everyone out there has their favorites. And if you have whatever favorites you have, I'd love to hear about it. I've seen across the internet, I've seen a lot of different opinions. Some people are really into Flashpoint Batman, Thomas Wayne Batman. Other people, they like Hush Batman. Okay. I didn't list those. Some other people like the Dark Knight Returns Batman. I have that one. I have Flashpoint Batman. I've got Year 2 Batman. That's another one that people really liked. If you watched my YouTube channel, if you've seen my video on that one, you could probably take a guess how I feel about Year 2 Batman. Oh boy. God, I posted a short about that one a while back, and whoo, I had some opinions. Jared says, I had the blue already, but was planning on making a custom version of the black and gray with a wired cape. But considering how the aftermarket is looking, I may leave in box and just use the blue. Well, it's up to you at the end of the day, because it's your action figure, and you should do whatever you want with it, Jared. If you want to make a custom, you know, do what feels right to you. If you feel better leaving it in the box, you should leave it in the box. But if you want to go ahead and customize it, and if it makes you feel good, don't let the aftermarket prices stop you. Like, ask yourself, are you really planning on selling it? Or is it something that you're going to hold on to? If you know you're going to hold on to it, it might be worth doing it. It's easy to get caught up in, like, investments. It's easy to get caught up in the resale of action figures. Because you just keep thinking to yourself, oh boy, I wonder what this is going to be worth someday. Because, you know, action figures. I've noticed some people looking at action figures like an investment opportunity. I don't know how I feel about that. Good example of this is the HasLab projects, where people will buy like 5 copies of whatever HasLab they've made and sell them after the fact and act like, oh bro, yeah bro, you're gonna make back like double your money and all that. And meanwhile, I'm thinking, you know, there's easier ways to make money than spending on toys and then reselling it after the fact. Like, selling things on eBay is a pain in the balls. it's a lot of work, and well, anyway, that's my rant. Not to, yeah, it's not to disparage Jared or anything. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just talking. All right, Crypto Regular says Arkham City Batman. Oh yeah, I have that one. Yeah, I bought that one with the Solomon Grundy wave. That one was pretty okay, I thought. Really liked the chest on him too. Like the upper body on him was solid. Batman v Superman, Dark Knight Trilogy, and Arkham Knight. Dude, I wish they would like reissue Arkham Knight. Does anyone out there wish that they would reissue Arkham Knight Batman? Because, I don't know, I never got that one, but it looked like such a sick action figure. Here, let's pull him up real quick so you guys can, like, get a look at him. Yeah. Oh, yeah, guys, this is tight. Oh, yeah. Look at everything that comes with this bad boy. Look at this action figure, guys. There's Arkham Knight Batman. God. Why don't they re-release this guy? Why are they, like, holding on to him? Why are they keeping him locked behind closed doors? Like, what's the deal with that? Yeah, this is cool, right? Right, John? Look at him. Yeah, he's got, like, the explosive gel thing. He's got, what the hell is this? Is this, like, the, yeah, I forget what weapon this is, but this is... I recognize it from the game. I feel like it's a... Oh, God. It's like a zip... It's not the zipline thing, I don't think. Alright, this one... And here's the Batarang, too. Yeah, if anyone wants to, like, go ahead and jog my memory, go ahead and throw it out there for me. I feel like it's a... God, I feel like it's a frequency thing or something. Yeah, this one is prohibitively expensive on the aftermarket, too. All these earlier McFarlane toys... A lot of these earlier McFarlane toys are kind of meh. This one? Nah, I don't think so. I think this is a pretty good early edition of what McFarlane Toys was putting out at the time. One of my favorite games, so really like this one. Yeah, Arkham Knight is really, really cool. The whole Arkham series is really, really cool, Jonathan. Come to think of it, I kind of wanted to play through the Arkham Knight, or the Arkham series sometime soon, including Arkham Origins. Man, I would like that a lot, actually. that might make for a really fun series. Arkham Origins. Collected Disconnect says, Mercari is my go-to. Way better than eBay. You know, I've never gone on Mercari. Definitely do it, please. Alright, John. I was planning on doing it at some point. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do it. In no particular order, Jared says, Batman v Superman. Okay, we've got a lot of consensus here that Batman v Superman Batman, this Batman over here, is one of the best Batman action figures. Here, let's pull up like a different image of him because, I don't know, I just feel like he needs one. There. There we go. So we're all in agreement here that this one is one of the best ones. I'm glad that I'm not, like, tripping. I'm glad I'm not full of crap, all that. I'm glad that I'm on the ball here, that this is, in fact, one of the best ones. Okay. I've never used Mercari, but, you know, never say never, guys. I don't know, I'm... When it comes to, like, using different sites, I'm really conservative. So, that's why I tend to only go places where I know I can absolutely 100% trust them. You know what I mean? And I know eBay. I don't know Mercari. Mercari is still very new to me, so I have a hard time trusting it. It's one of those reasons that you don't see me doing, for anyone who watches some of my other live streams, I don't do a whole lot of, like, emulation stuff, because I just don't trust the websites that do the emulation stuff. I have a hard time trusting them. Anyway. Hope you're having a good night tonight, Collected Disconnect. So it was good to see you, dude. You've been wanting McFarlane to make an Arkham Origins Batman forever. I hope they do. They made Deathstroke. I wonder why they only made Deathstroke. Yeah, they made a Deathstroke action figure that looked really, really cool, and then they never made any other figures from that game. What the hell? Jared says, I kept kicking myself for not getting it when he had the chance. Saw it in Best Buy for $19.99, but simply was collecting the McFarlane. Yeah, that's all happen. It's happened to us all the time, right? We wanted this action figure, we wanted that action figure, but we passed it up because this and that. You know, you had reasons at the time. Like, maybe you were hemorrhaging money on something else and you just didn't have the scratch. Like, you kick yourself in hindsight, but it's not worth beating yourself up over. Because, hey, it wasn't the right time for you. And you gotta look at it on the bright side. There's always gonna be other action figures, you know? There's gonna be other ones that you can collect. There's still gonna be other stuff that you can get. It doesn't necessarily just have to be that figure at that moment in time. There's always gonna be more. At least that's my point of view. I try not to beat myself up too much about it. If I happen to miss, like, a really popular action figure or something. Sometimes the action figure is just really expensive and it's not worth the time. Like, Maximum Series Spider-Man, for instance. I'm not sure that one's going to be worth the time, guys, for like me to get it and talk about it. Because it's $50, and at that point, like, you know, how much am I in the green here on YouTube? You gotta pick and choose your battles with action figures, because, like, you start buying a bunch of action figures, and, like, everything starts adding up. $20 here, $20 there, like $40 here, etc., etc. And before you know it, like, you're in the red on all your YouTube content. No bueno. So that is why you maybe see sporadic reviews from me at best. I've noticed that people don't really watch reviews that much, at least not on my channel. People don't really watch the reviews. They watch, like, the first impressions videos, but they don't really watch reviews. Probably because, like, all these other guys get the toys early, and at that point, you know, they're probably not too inclined to watch the video that I put out. Alright, Cryptic Riddler, I'll see you. Have a good night. Oh yeah, Bane from Arkham Origins would be cool too. The whole game was kind of underrated. Isn't it funny how they've never really re-released it? They never really have. And there's a lot of positives about that game. It's a little bit weird here and there, but, like, it's not bad. I kind of want to get that game on PS3. It's weird. I like playing games a little bit more on my PS3 recently than I do my Xbox 360, because, like, the controller in the Xbox 360 has been on the fritz. But fortunately, I can just plug in a PS4 controller in my PlayStation 3 and all is well. So now I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should get myself a copy of Arkham Origins on PS3. That sounds like a capital idea, SK. Yeah, wouldn't mind that at all. Alright, where were we? Where were we on this? Ah, there we are. There's Nightfall Batman. Alright, Black Mask 2. God, why they haven't made a Black Mask yet, have they? There's a lot of characters they just haven't done yet. And a lot of them are Batman characters. Well, there's a lot I could say about McFarlane Toys, but they have been making a lot of other characters recently. They haven't been resting on their laurels and just producing the same old variants of Batman that they used to. They've been branching out a lot and making a lot of new characters. Like, hell, we just talked about some of them recently. We talked about Guy Gardner. We talked about Power Girl and got Captain Cold and stuff. Yeah, they still have a lot of Batman characters that they could get to, but we'll see if it ever happens, guys. Who knows? Excuse me. I would like, you know, they've been making more. I was about to say that I would like to see more Flash enemies, but I think they've been making more Flash enemies. I'd like to see a little bit more, and I'd like to see a little bit more from, like, Superman. Maybe I'm just crazy there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I know they've been making some Superman stuff. I just want more. I'm sorry, I'm greedy. That's my position. Well, to all you guys out there watching after the fact, what do you think the 5 best Batman action figures are, guys, from McFarlane Toys? And for the love of God, don't be one of those people that says none of them. Because, oh dear God, the lack of imagination that goes along with that. I know there's going to be someone out there that just says none of them. You want a good Two-Face? Actually, yes. How have they not done Two-Face yet? Been a long time. DC Direct was the last with a comic Two-Face. Yeah, how have they not done a comic book Two-Face yet? Like, it's been so long. Where's the comic book Two-Face, brother? When you're right, you're right. Two-Face! Where's Two-Face? Come on, cough him up! Like, all this talk about making too much Batman, and like, you start thinking about all the characters they made, and you realize, wow, maybe they haven't made that much Batman. Maybe they haven't made enough Batman. Yes, we've really gotten to the bottom of this today, guys. If there's one takeaway from all this, it's that they haven't done enough Batman. There will never be enough Batman to satisfy me. They could do a whole year of nothing but Batman, and I wouldn't be mad about it. Like, everyone else would cry about it, and meanwhile I'd just be raking all of my Batman, saying, yes! Yes! More Batman, yes! It's funny. It's funny, though. Every time I ask people what DC characters they want to see, literally every single time I ask people what DC characters they want to see, it's always Batman characters. They complain about Batman, and then you ask them what they want, and all it is just Batman stuff. So, what the hell are we complaining about? Like, sometimes I'll do like a poll, and I'll fire off a list of characters that are not Batman characters. And then people will just say, I don't know who these people are. And I'll kind of just roll my eyes and say, well, then go read some comics, bro. Damn. Like, I remember someone didn't know who Brother Blood was, someone didn't know who Blockbuster was. I forget who else was in the poll a while ago, but God, they didn't know any of the characters I listed, and I facepalmed a little bit and just kind of wept quietly to myself. Alright, what are you saying, Jared? You want a new 52 Superman, simply an updated modern Superman? I would not cry about that. If they do like another... Didn't they just do a Superman that was really solid? I know they did Flesher's Superman, but I thought there was another one. I thought there was like a couple of Superman action figures that looked pretty good recently. Superman action figures sucked for a long time, but they've gotten better, thankfully. Big Barda and the Furious. Woo! Big Barda! Yeah! Alright. Big Barda, I'm not mad about it. Alright. Yeah. McFarlane, are you listening? Sometimes I wonder if McFarlane is listening. There was a while where I was posting videos, and it seemed like every time I said something, like, McFarlane would take action on it. And then I was wondering, man, are they listening to my my podcast? This isn't a podcast. Are they watching my videos? Probably not. Wishful thinking. Alistair Studio says, I'm not complaining, hot take, but everything could disappear from DC except Batman as Rogue Gallery, and I would be fine. And I think that's the same case for a lot of people. Like, there's a reason Batman eats so good at the table. That's all anyone really knows. Yeah? Batman has one of the most popular cast of characters of any DC character, really. The only one who even comes close is maybe Superman. It's all about Batman, guys. That's why he eats so good. Everyone knows Batman's universe, and no one really knows any of the other characters from any other universes. McFarlane does do too much Batman himself. You want more villains. That's kind of the that's the ballpark I'm in. Like, Batman himself is very well represented. We have a lot of action figures of him. What I need are the villains. That's why I say, if he wants to make a lot of Batman, okay, but could I have some Joker with my Batman, please? And when I say Joker with my Batman, I mean, it doesn't just mean Joker, that also means, you know, some of his other rogues. Like Two-Face, for instance. We haven't seen Two-Face. Black Mask. Perhaps another Man-Bat, I don't know. I have the Man-Bat they made. Don't know how I haven't reviewed that one, but I have it somewhere in the box. Oh boy, that's an oldie. At this point, it's an oldie. But yeah. Just cough up some more villains. Every so often they cough up a Batman villain, but it seems like they're a little tight-fisted with the Batman villains, man. I'm not even sure we've seen a pretty classic Riddler. I'm not even sure that we've seen, like, a character like Professor Pig. I don't think we have. Like, I know we've seen Riddler action figures, but I don't think we've seen a classic one, have we? I don't think we have. Maybe I missed it. How would everyone feel about a Batman 2004 wave? You mean like the cartoon? I don't know. I remember the cartoon being okay. Yeah, sure, why not? I don't know if Batman 2004 is like... About to see tons of hands in the staff. Oh, yeah. Wasn't that Jim Carrey's Riddler? Oh, wait. They did do a Riddler, didn't they? Oh, yeah, they kind of did. I seem to remember not liking that Riddler very much. God. Alright, I want them to do a better Riddler. That's the one. Here, I'm gonna do a search real quick so I can jog my memory. DC Multiverse Riddler. Ah, yes, there he is, the Blue Beetle one. Oh yeah, this one was balls. Yeah, I remember this one. Alright, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, he's got the Blue Beetle boots on him. Yeah, that sucked. Alright. Well, I would like to file that one under Make It Again, please. The rest of them was pretty okay. Like, the face is okay, gloves are okay. But egads those legs, brother. Alright. I'll tell you what, soulmates. I'll tell you what. This seems like a good place to put a pin in this one. But I'll tell you what, all you guys out there who are watching after the fact, be sure you tell us what your 5 favorite Batman action figures are. And I'll be back with everyone again, I think tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. I'll see you guys again soon. You guys have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. I'll catch everyone again soon. Till next time, good night, everyone. Bye-bye.